This is Vietnam as I saw it. This is CWO Ernie Greening, helicopter pilot after 2 tours in Vietnam. I was an instructor pilot at Fort Rucker, Alabama, and on 10 May 1966 I was called into the tower, told to report to my commander. All instructor pilots with orders for Nam in August had been moved up to May. So on 2 June 1966 I found myself in a Caribou headed for the golf course, or at An Khê, home of the 1st Air Cavalry Division. I was assigned to B Company 228, a Chinook outfit. An Khê was much bigger than I anticipated, and it was a beehive of activity, with Air Force and Army airplanes and helicopters taking off and landing at all hours. I was pleased to see I was assigned to a unit with a nice mess hall and a good company headquarters. At least I would be somewhat comfortable while back in garrison. I was assigned to bunk position in this tent, which would be my home for the next year. So while it would be some time before I got my combat gear and got my orientation flight, I busied myself improving the bunker out back, going out to the green line and firing my .45, and then building myself some furniture. I built a desk and a hot closet out of rocket boxes and cargo boxes. As 1st Air Cav was a helicopter outfit, the Chinooks were very busy hauling supplies and artillery out to the field and hauling wrecked airplanes and wounded people back. Very seldom do we go any direction empty. Somebody come up with an idea for a platform that we could set out in the marshes. It had hydraulic jacks on the corners, and it could be set up and in a few seconds leveled, and then another Chinook could bring an artillery piece in and set on it so we could actually fire artillery out of the swamps. A Chinook could put 44 armed troops almost anywhere, anytime. Many times we put them on tops of hills and save them walking up the hills. That's me down where the guy shot at me and had a gunner that didn't know what 10 o'clock meant. I told him he had somebody at 10 o'clock, and he said, "No, sir, it's 9:30. The other gunner had to come over and shoot the Charlie. This is just a typical mission for a Chinook, haul artillery out and back in. One of the missions we didn't like was being the people in the field didn't really know how to handle Chinooks. One of us had to be on the ground all the time, and especially on a troop withdrawal, while you use the last man out. Got pretty lonely out there as that last Chinook left. You waited for the one to come back and get you. Chinooks can even land in the water, and many times we'd pick up a downed Air Force pilot, but he'd go out the ocean and land. That was safer for us to pick him up on the water than it was in the jungles. We could load 2,000 gallons of Agent Orange internal, so we done a lot of spraying of Agent Orange. Here we're dropping CS grenades, CS barrels to deny an area to the Viet Cong. Anytime we was flying with chemicals on board, one of the pilots had to wear his gas mask. He really wasn't that comfortable. In October, I got a chance to fly 2 months with Delta Company 227 to gunships. That was a lot more fun than flying a Chinook because I got to shoot back. Our primary mission was supporting the lift troops, and what we'd do is typically go in twos, and we'd fly in a daisy wheel around them and protect them as they were going in and coming out of LZs. Other times we got other missions too. We'd support what was called a people sniffer. That was a Huey that went along and could smell the gases give off by humans, and then we'd shoot up an area. I think we shot more monkeys than we did Viet Cong. The Chinooks would haul blivets of fuel and rockets internally out to a semi-secure area near the battle so we could rearm and refuel without going all the way back to garrison. It helps us a lot on time. If we didn't have nothing to do, we'd get our airplane ready to go first, then we'd get ourselves ready, then we'd go on standby. I read a lot of Western novels, and sometimes we was on what was called cockpit standby, where we were literally strapped in ready to go. Next, you'll see the UH-1C, we called the Hog. It had the 40mm grenade chunker on the front, and it's one that's a Corgi outfit that makes models chose me and that airplane to make a model out of. Next is a flexible mounted electric Gatling gun. I liked it the best. It was very accurate and fired about 4,000 rounds a minute. It also carried 7 rockets on each side. This is my tent. That's my home away from home while I was flying gunships. Next is a view through the rocket sight. It compensated for the wind and made shooting rockets a lot accurate. Come a long way since we used to put grease pencil marks on the front. To shoot rockets accurately, you had to have the helicopter in perfect trim, needle ball lined up, and you had to be in a pretty level flight. I didn't like to shoot rockets near friendlies because they were kind of unstable. This is what we call the daisy cutter, or an instant landing zone. We'd have a C-130 or a Chinook drop a 10,000-pound bomb set to go off at 75 feet above the ground. It literally stripped the trees off. Then the Chinooks would bring in a couple of bulldozers and road graders, and in half a day we'd have a LZ. We're prepping an LZ for the slicks to land, so I'll show you what the door gunner does. First of all, he hoses the area around the trees where he thinks Charlie will be, and then he'll throw smoke to mark the extreme ends of the LZ. Here's the first smoke. It shows where the bottom part of the LZ is at the approach end. Then the second grenade will be the far forward where the very first ship goes. And all the other ships land in between in formation. Now he's going to demonstrate his skill with that door-mounted minigun. It's a 7.62 minigun. He's the only one firing out there. You see all the bullets hitting, about 4,000 rounds a minute. Them door gunners can literally write their name with that gun. As we come back around, I'll put a few rockets where I think Charlie will be, and the co-pilot will be firing the flex guns where he thinks he'll be. We're just suppressing fire where we think Charlie will be.